And on top of that, we're entering the second week of war with Iran. We've got a lot to discuss and a great panel to help us out. Joining us now is Alencia Johnson, Democratic strategist and advisor to Kamala Harris's 2024 campaign, along with Republican strategist Matthew Bartlett, who served in the State Department during Trump's first term. I don't even know where to
What a boring week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here we go.
Matthew, what are you hearing from your people right now about their support for Trump's war in Iran? I mean, publicly, obviously, they're behind this. Privately, what are they saying? At least people who are not Lindsey Graham.
Yeah, I mean, nothing good. Let's just be clear here. We went from America first to America strikes first pretty quickly here. And I think a lot of the MAGA base, let's remember, a lot of the MAGA base is wherever Trump is at the moment is still with him. But we are, hours, days into this. Militarily speaking, it's going incredibly well. Taking out their leader, a lot of taking out their military. What comes next? A lot of questions. And now you're seeing some of the MAGA influencers raise questions. The longer this goes on, the more skepticism. And then beyond that, what is the priority of the American public right now? The economy.
Yeah.
We are a year in. Everything has changed except for the economy. So what is our message as we head into the midterms? Thank us for the big, beautiful bill. That's it. We have no ideas, no legislation. No one's feeling good right now.
I think one of the things that's so interesting when you talked about the economy, voters do not they don't think about foreign policy until it starts impacting them, whether that's people on the ground or they start seeing, I don't know, the president and the administration spending reportedly $1 billion a day on this war. And they're hearing that, and then they're looking in their refrigerators. They're looking at the gas ticking up.
Their rent,
their mortgage, literally every aspect of their lives, their health care. And they're saying, well, what about me, right? And wars, and this is from Peter Baker in the New York Times, wars often lose public support over time. Trump started this war without much. The opposition is revealing, he writes, about this particular moment in American history. A country already tired of decades of combat in the Middle East has shown little appetite for yet another risky overseas venture. And the deep polarization of American politics only makes it harder to build support across lines. Donald Trump seems to not care about whether or not the American people
doesn't
care about this.
He doesn't care.
He doesn't care. And it's interesting in the reporting, it's that the decades of conflict in the Middle East, when Donald Trump, as we remember, he campaigned on being the president of peace. And he is the complete opposite of that.
He has the FIFA peace prize, man.
Yeah, the participation trophy. Because he didn't earn it, the DEI participation trophy, right? But the American people are seeing this, right? To the point that you're making about the economy, healthcare, all of these things, the chaos here, right? The violence against your own U.S. citizens, and yet here you go with these horrible polling numbers and engage us in a conflict that, to your point about the money spent on this war, people's friends and loved ones participating in this war, and Americans losing their lives, along with our, other people, innocent civilians losing their lives. People aren't willing to put up with that. And as we see, younger people are paying attention to things like that as well. And that will impact this midterm election, which we know Republicans like to talk about the fact that more young men have started to vote Republican, particularly young men of color. I don't think that bodes well if we think about the demographics within the military, if we're looking at foreign policy.
And, Matthew, the thing that, among many things that I find galling about this president is how he just blithely talks about the loss of life as a result of this war. It's a war. This is the cost of war. I guess Americans should be concerned about potential reprisals here at home against them as a result of the war. The MAGA base sticks with him no matter what. But will that kind of talk somehow seep down among Republicans where they start to speak out publicly about a president from their own party who talks about members of the military in this way, who are putting their lives on the line? And I'm fiery about this because I grew up during the Reagan years, during the H.W. Bush years, when it was pounded into the heads of Democrats, you don't love this country if you don't stand by the troops. And here you have a president of the United States who just says, if they die, they die.
I mean, Jonathan, it's shocking to make such consequential decisions. And to, as you say, to have the juxtaposition of just a few months ago on the campaign trail saying we've learned our lesson after a quarter of a century, and then to speak so nonchalant, just so absolutely reflexive about, hey, this is war, this happens. It's shocking. We saw.
But you know what? It's not shocking, right? This is the same guy who called fallen soldiers suckers and losers. Which
I think it's not surprising, but still shocking.
It's shocking.
He has always had a disparaging and dismal view of U.S. forces, even though they are now the people who are going to be carrying out what seems to be a legacy-building exercise.
I mean, here's my take. Yesterday, we saw him addressing, for the return of the fallen soldiers.
Take his hat off, but go on.
Well, that was going to be my point. Can you imagine what my party would be saying if Barack Obama had done this?
He had a
Let's just be a little honest here.
The Secret Service agent who held the umbrella over the president so that he wouldn't get wet, and Republicans ripped him.
Hypocrisy is about contradictions, but this might be a little deeper. This might be a little bit more of a betrayal of some of the MAGA base. Yes, we are early into this, again, militarily speaking, but the long-term consequences of this remain very unclear. And heading into a midterm, you worked on Kamala Harris's campaign. You guys lost on war, on immigration, on affordability. Now we're going to the midterms, and what? Oh my gosh!
Not the trauma.
Wait, hold on. But guess what? Kamala was right.
She was right. Because he ran on that she was going to be the war president, right? That she was going to be the one. While we do know, as she was vice president, she actually did a lot of diplomacy. She went to a lot of countries and brokered a lot of conversations.
I went to some with her.
You sure did.
Very tired.
Had a lot of meetings.
And so everything that he said that she would do, he ended up doing, and he's messing around in foreign affairs while not tending to the matters at home, which it is so. It's such hypocrisy, but it also is not surprising. When somebody tells you who they are, you believe them. And we already lived under one Donald Trump administration, and he showed us.
Yeah. Right.
And also, I'm not trying to pick on you. I'm so sorry.
She says that before she picks on people.
Let's say now.
My girl.
But the consequences of this are unclear. But I think that they're fairly clear. I mean, Peter Baker has a great piece that goes through all of the statistics and sort of headwinds that presidents deal with when they commence or initiate war. He writes, the opposition is revealing about the current opposition, right? Trump started this war without any public support to begin with. The opposition is revealing about this particular moment in American history. A country already tired of decades of combat in the Middle East has shown little appetite for yet another risky overseas venture. And a deep polarization of American politics only makes it harder to build support across lines. There already has been some tons of mission creep here. This was supposed to be a 3 to 4 day exercise. We're now in week 2. Tehran is on fire. We're going along with Israel, who's now threatening to take out any next appointed successor to Khamenei. I mean,
not to mention what's happening in Lebanon, the Gulf states. I mean, this is branched out beyond Iran.
It's a regional war.
Yeah. Yeah, and listen, undoubtedly. Militarily speaking, though, I'm not sure anybody can predict how this ends.
How about this? I predict this not well.
Politically,
I feel confident that not very well for somebody. I want to quickly go to kind of the upcoming primary elections, right? We have, look at the Texas vote turnout, 2.3 million Democratic voters, 2.2 million Republican voters. Your party is very interested and excited. But I think something that's going to be, and you guys tell me, part of the story of this midterm election primary season is this from AP. Early primaries show